We are talking about the Parental School Choice Tax Credit program, one that's been a bit controversial over time, and we're going to get into that. Aspen, you've been covering this a lot. The applications just opened up last week, right? Okay, what are the numbers coming out, and how often are we going to see these updates too?
Yeah, well, it's fair to say that parents really went ahead and applied first thing. Just after midnight, people were applying, and some people experienced some issues with the website, but that first really day, by 3 p.m., it was like almost 3,500 people had applied. We've seen that number go up now. Today, it's more close to around 5,000. Updates are going to come at least once a week is what the tax commission tells me, because there's a demand. People want to know how many people are applying.
Okay, so there's been talk about oversight, no oversight. So sounds like right now tax commission is the one in charge of kind of keeping an eye on that?
Right, they're the ones that are going to be issuing the tax credits. They're kind of overseeing that, but Democrats or critics of this program are pushing for some more oversight, really wanting audits to take place, making sure and vetting that the receipts that people are submitting are accurate in order for them to get the tax credits.
Okay, so then the other thing, obviously this brings us all to today, which is where the state Supreme Court is hearing arguments because there's been some back and forth here.
People are challenging the program, challenging the law that went into place. A group of educators, parents, kind of a coalition of people are challenging it, saying it's unconstitutional, goes against Idaho's constitution, which basically says the state has an obligation to maintain and fully fund a free public school system. So those critics are arguing that these tax credits are really allowing the state to give money to an entire different system.
The legislature is prohibited from doing indirectly by using parents as middlemen, where the ultimate result is appropriated public funds being used to pay private school tuition and fees.
That's what they argued mostly today. The justices pushed back on that a little bit on whether or not that is how the Constitution reads, and questioned, could they do both?
What prevents the state from tweaking its tax policy to allow parents to innovate and look into different forms of education?
Of course, the people who support this are also arguing that. They argued that today in court.
There's no system that is under the supervision of the state that it's administering, no system of schools. I think that would be like saying food stamps creates a system of grocery stores.
They also push back on if it is a second whole system entirely. They aren't calling it a system because it gives parents the choice to really decide what they want to use that money on. If it's tuition, if it's books expenses, if it's tutoring expenses. So there was some pushback there, but justices also pushed back on that, saying, but the state requires private schools to have some type of requirements and criterias for the tax credits to qualify to be used at those schools. So does that kind of mean that the state is maintaining a system on the side as well? So a lot kind of from both sides, but really both sides arguing that the future of education in Idaho is kind of in the hands of the courts right now.
Again, something we've covered extensively on the 208, but we will continue covering because right now it is unknown, and we'll just have to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Also, another concern is right now it's at $50 million annually, so that's kind of maybe what we're going to see maybe the first few years, but there's a chance more money could be set aside for this, and so even if this rolls out this year, it could look entirely different for years to come.
Yeah, something we'll be watching out for. Aspen, thank you.